Yeah, kia ora, kia ora. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, well, what a magic day, man, over here. We're actually in winter, or just the start of it, being early June. And so super stoked to have that bit of sun. Anyway, we'll flip it around, We'll get straight into this. This from a neighbour, just a couple of houses along, towards the lovely beach. And what it is, obviously that's the front baffle, on the back of the front baffle, and the speaker itself, it's quite a lovely vintage speaker, so vintage shape, just a sort of fairly classic sort of rectangular box. Notably though, it's like a solid wood. I think it's solid, or if not, perhaps solid timber with just a fine veneer over some parts of it. But certainly well made, and solidly, the timber looks solid. So, and the front and rear are a particle board, so all goods, both screw on and off. Anyway, what was originally in there was these Pioneer, if you can see that, the PAX 20Gs, which are 50-year-old now, coaxial, about an 8-inch coaxial with the Alnico magnets, and the little crossover to the tweeters up there, just about a 3.3 microfarad cap, I think. But anyway, yeah, they're a little bit basslight, obviously, being of that era, and they were just mounted, and there was a cutout in the baffle, no port tube, but just the cutout for the bass. So yeah, it seemed to function all right, but just no real ability to kind of go loud or handle some bass notes, in my opinion, and a little bit thin. Still quite high sensitivity, so it had some lovely qualities. And this is the good cone. The other one basically had ripped away from the surround just due to age deterioration. I was actually going to repair them just to keep them authentic. Yeah, I found when I went to work on the other one, even the cone, when I started removing the Fabian wires, the paper just pulled away around that, where it's attached through the cone. So I thought, these cones are just, the fracture of time has liberated them from use, really. I mean, if you're real gentle, you could revive them and probably put a coating on them to preserve them, and just be satisfied with a lower volume nostalgic speaker. But from what I'm getting from the owner is he sort of felt like, wanting something that's gonna have some longevity and last and be able to sort of be used and not deteriorate or have any further problem with, not so much problem, just rock out sort of thing. It's a brand called Tru Fidelity, which is a New Zealand brand, and made by John Gilbert. And the amplifier part of the system is a 20 watt tube amplifier. Not sure if it's probably 10 a side or something like that. 20 watts a side would be quite high powered. It could be that. It could be 20 a side, tube amp. 10 or 20 anyway. So relatively low powered, but still a beautiful sounding tube amplifier. It really was expressive, and yeah, lots of the subtool tubey loveness in there. So, but it's also 16 ohm, hence why you're thinking, gosh, he's gone from one coaxial to a 4-driver system, basically to keep the impedance at 16 ohms. I've had to come up with, well, I haven't had to, but I thought, well, the best way to do that is to put some I had a few of these 8-inch, 8 ohm, you know, rock solid polypropylene rubber surround woofers, you know, 100 RMS. They're sort of going to be able to be used with anything, this tube amp and onto anything. You could rock out a decent 200 watt. Not that wattage is, you know, be all and all, but just that sort of authoritative, beefy amplification from whether it be solid state tubes or whatever, hybridized. So that was the choice. Yeah, just pop these in series to get back to the 16 ohms, as that's the only tap on the valve amplifier, 16 ohm. And tweeters are a plainer ribbon tweeter, and they got quite a decent sound. So basically going for like a line source, but also taking advantage of the Diapolito sort of MTM kind of setup. Obviously they're not in the middle, but off to the side there is still very close and equidistant. So I thought Diapoline combining Diapolito and line array would be how to describe them. The Diapoline configuration by Torque. Well, you know, obviously on the bridge and shoulders of those genius other designers and creators. But I think that'll work well, you know. So you've got your ribbon lines right there in the middle, and plan is to see how that's flared at the flange. Just continue that flare out to give you know, that sort of waveguide horn loading. Basically doing that to get the acoustical centres reasonably tight aligned. I think that's a pretty good way of doing it, and it's going to strengthen up the baffle in this critical middle section as well. So that is it. That's the plan. I better get back to it. Thanks for tuning in, and gosh, what a magical day. Hope you've got some sun or decent starlight where you are, and yeah, party on. May the speaker gods be with you. All the best.